Hello and welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Well, today we're taking a look at the Congress party, but taking our cue really from the Rajya Sabha nominations, the impact they will have on the inner party politics and also the politics of the opposition. Joining me for this discussion is we have Pankaj Vora, Managing Editor of the Sunday Guardian, PKD Nambiar, he's a political analyst, Tehseem Poonawala, a Congress supporter and a lawyer in his own right, advocate, and Shubho Bhattacharya, political analyst. Tehseem, you really know what is happening on the inside track within the Congress. The Rajya Sabha nominations has left us all very perplexed. If you can just give us your take on it. We have so many nominations from outside states. The states that are going to elections don't have nominations. A lot of people have been nominated who, apart from the blind allegiance to Rahul Gandhi, don't have very much to really recommend them. So, what is your reading of the Rajya Sabha list?
So, I'm split on the Rajya Sabha list. I'm going to be very honest about that, Priya. At the onset, I also understand that the leadership would like to send people that they are comfortable with, who contributed to the party in a certain way to the house, because they would want their people to be there. But at the same time, some decisions at some times give out a wrong message. For example, if somebody is not going from their home state and going from another state, then it shows that things are not very good in that state unit for that particular leader. So in that sort of a situation, I think it is incumbent on the party to sit with everybody, all the stakeholders, which is the party in the state unit, and the candidate, and sort of resolve those issues and resolve those bridges. I can tell you for myself, I would never contest a Rajya Sabha, but if I ever do, it will only be from my home state.
Which is Maharashtra.
Which is Maharashtra.
Okay. PKD, your reading, he didn't name him, but obviously he was referring to Surjewala, who Huda will never allow him to win. So Ajay Makhan from Delhi has gone to Haryana. Why is Mukul Vasnik from Maharashtra gone to Rajasthan, and so and so forth? And this message it sends, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh are going, and Chhattisgarh are going to polls soon.
So, absolutely. I think one of the biggest mistakes the Congress has recently done in this Rajya Sabha thing is that it's more of like attacking the organizational capacity of Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh two units. If you really look at it, Rajasthan, hardly, they don't have even a single Rajya Sabha MP from within the state. Look at, it's all people who are a part of a courtier. I don't even wanted to call them as a loyalist, a slave for a family who just have one agenda from the morning to evening, that they just wanted to appease that particular family, and they get positions. Imagine Surjewala in the last two assembly elections lost, could not get even the deposit. Jisko Hindi mein aapko jamanat bhi mila nahi wapas. That person is getting a seat not from Haryana where there is a position, but he is going to Rajasthan. That clearly shows the vulnerability of the Congress leadership, and it's very clear that now that the Chindan Shivir was just a eyewash, just to tell the people Congress exists in this country, and there is the faith of the Congress leadership still lies with the family. I think it's very unfortunate that this was a great opportunity for Congress to tell the whole world that there is a transformation is been taking place for the better. The people's really, the real Congress worker, as my friend was just, Tehseen was just talking about, the people's representatives are coming. The people who work on the ground within the state gets an opportunity to represent that state in the Rajya Sabha. We all know that there are times that Rajya Sabha has been given it to people from, just to accommodate, which is every party does, but not in this level. This is something which is really a hypocrisy at its peak.
But Pankaj, one explanation that was given to me was this is the first step in Rahul's takeover as the party president. First, the Darbar is being readied, in the Rajya Sabha. Because Rahul always says that no one takes my line. I'm the only one attacking the RSS. I'm the only one attacking Modi directly. So now he's got his people, whoever will take up whatever he raises in the Lok Sabha will be echoed blindly. There's KC Venugopal there is now Surjewala, Ajay Makhan. These are people who will totally parrot whatever line Rahul Gandhi says.
First of all, Rahul Gandhi has been the president before, and this crisis in the Congress occurred because he resigned, taking moral responsibility for the 2019 defeat. And he has been, acting as the de facto president of the party, ever since that time. And it is being said in the latest instance that in this Rajya Sabha distribution, 3 tickets each were decided by the 3 Gandhi family members. 3 by Priyanka, 3 by Rahul, and 3 by Sonia ji. And The 10th seat went to Kamal Nath's nominee, Vivek Tankha, because Kamal Nath had made it clear that Vivek Tankha is a Kashmiri Pandit who's based in Madhya Pradesh, and he should be there, and he's heading the legal team. Now, after having said this, if you examine the people who have got Rajya Sabha, there are some of them, I don't want to take names, who attract hostility, so far as the cadres are concerned. So, how can they be representatives of the party? Now, for instance, two of the safest seats in Rajya Sabha have been given to two people who, nothing personal against them, but who bring nothing to the party. I'm talking about Ranjit Ranjan and Rajiv Shukla. They've got Chhattisgarh and they've already got elected unopposed. I mean, if you had to reward somebody from who had been an old Congress loyalist, he should have been, accommodated from this place, Chhattisgarh. Now, in Rajasthan, for instance, Randeep Surjewala is the first choice. He may get elected. Pramod Tiwari is the third choice, who has tremendous clout and will have the backing of business houses. And Mukul Vasnik, who should have been ideally contesting from Maharashtra, is there. And there's this Imran Pratapgadi, whom Congress cadres say is a political upstart, and he's been accommodated from there, and he can lose. And so also in Haryana, the picture is very tricky. Ajay Makan, who has been accused of destroying the party in Delhi, is the Congress candidate there, and he is in deep trouble because of the presence of Kartikeya Sharma, because Ajay Makan, is in no position to get second preference votes in case the voting goes into the second round, because there can be abstentions, there can be wrong voting, or there can be cross voting. He doesn't know that Haryana is a place from where Ayaram Gyaram concept actually started. So he can be in deep trouble there. And similarly, one of the candidates in Rajasthan can be in deep trouble. Imran Pratapgadi is not in a very safe position either. So, there is a lot of problem going on. And in distribution of the Rajya Sabha tickets, let me tell you one, there was a cardinal principle of the party since Rajiv Gandhi's time, which was carried on till Narasimha Rao's time, that no defeated candidate of Lok Sabha would ever be given Rajya Sabha. Sonia ji, when she took over, she flouted this. She accommodated Oscar Fernandez, she accommodated Shivraj Patil, she accommodated PM Sayyed, and then the list grew. And now also, there are people in this list who have not won Lok Sabha. They have not, as was being pointed out, have not even won assembly elections and have forfeited their deposit. So what kind of distribution of tickets is this? Is it sending the right signal after the Udaipur Chintan Shivar?
No. Well, one message, Shubho, is being sent is that Rahul Gandhi is in control. That was the Chintan Shivar, the biggest theme of the Chintan Shivar.
Well, Rahul Gandhi said something very interesting in Cambridge.
What did he say?
When he was asked, when this interlocutor, this officer, said that, said Rashtra. So what did Rahul Gandhi say? Rashtra means
Kingdom.
Kingdom, because he thinks party is a fiefdom. Okay. Now, as Pankaj rightly pointed out, it was 3 plus 1. And how was it decided? Modern technology was harnessed over a video conferencing, because Sri Rahul Gandhi was in London. So he spoke to his mom and his sister on video conferencing, and on that, the fate of the 10 Congress seats for the next 6 years, mind you, 2022 to 2028, very crucial years for anybody, because 2029 election will come thereafter. It was decided. Imran Pratapgadi, gentleman joined Congress, I think, about 3 years back, 2019. So what happened to the 5-year rule that Udaipur had said? Number one. I think he lost his Lok Sabha election by 6 lakh votes. And so that's very good. Pramod Tiwari, okay, he's an old hand, but fact is that his daughter is among the 2 MLAs that Congress has won in UP. So his own, and instantly, out of the 3 tickets from UP, Rajiv Shukla is from Kanpur. Rajiv Shukla, people may say anything, but he's a go-getter and he's a very good liaison man for the party. So, and if you have seen, he has been really standing by Priyanka Gandhi.
Right.
and which is
In fact, what I've heard is, in fact, I'm going to be asking Tehseem that question, is that Priyanka was actually have been given a Rajya Sabha. There would have been a Gandhi in every house.
Baghel said that
yeah.
I want her from here. In fact, last time when the ticket was decided for Chhattisgarh, it went to KPS Tulsi on the recommendation of Priyanka Gandhi. So this time Baghel had said, because mind you, among the two chief ministers that Congress has, one is Baghel, who has proved to be a strong man because the two candidates he got them elected unopposed. There was no Panga Baji over there, despite the fact that his own house is not in order. T.S. Sindhu is
correct.
Okay.
And the other chief minister?
But what about Mr. Ashok Gehlot? Now, Ajay Makan was he not in charge of Rajasthan?
He is.
So if he is in charge of Rajasthan, why should he go to Haryana? And the Haryana chap goes there, Mukul Vasni goes here. So
it's a khichdi.
It is a tragedy because it just shows that they don't know anything.
Okay.
You see, and to whom are they giving the tickets? And P. Chidambaram, for heaven's sake. Now, P. Chidambaram and Kartik Chidambaram, again, what happened to Udaipur formula? So, you've turned Udaipur on its head because, in any case, we know that both that Priyanka Gandhi went away to a resort in Pali soon after this thing. So, Udaipur was basically a tourist thing. And the biggest gainer of all this Congress politics are the resorts of Rajasthan.
Okay.
Because Mr. Ashok Gehlot has taken his MLS to a resort for the third time in his tenure. No chief minister before this, not even Bhajan Lal. And you were talking about Ayaram, Gayaram. Are you aware that Uday Bhan is the son of Gaya Lal, who was the person responsible for Uday Bhan, the Haryana PCC president. So Haryana has got a great heritage.
Okay, of Ayara. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back and continue this conversation, but after a short break. Hello and welcome back to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. We are here discussing, well, the Congress Rajya Sabha nomination list, which has a lot of room for thought and maybe improvement also, Tehseem. But this very point about Priyanka Gandhi not being given a Rajya Sabha nomination. And what we have been told is Rajiv Shukla is also her consolation prize because he is, one person who's always stood by her and who she trusts completely.
So I disagree.
Rajiv Shukla stood by Rajiv Gandhi.
Yeah.
Rajiv Shukla was Rajiv Gandhi's choice.
So his loyalty is from there.
Yes. And in fact, he's some sort of a guardian to these two kids.
So Rajiv Shukla, I think that he deserves to be in the upper house. He's a man he's very dynamic and he can
Resourceful.
Yeah, he can get things done. So I think that in politics you do require somebody like that, and I do have a lot of respect for Rajiv Shukla. But you know what? As an analyst, when I look at what's happening, say for example in the state of Maharashtra where the Congress was born, it was born in Maharashtra. You see that the party needs to have more people who are from the state representing them. So, if they don't go from the state, then there's a problem. Then the other acceptable face would have been Priyanka ji from Maharashtra. That would have been perfect because the Gandhis do have a very goodwill in Maharashtra. They enjoy extremely goodwill in Maharashtra. So it would have been good. But one of the suggestions that I had was if she would have contested from Kanyakumari when the Lok Sabha MP had passed away, because then that would have been a seat.
I'm sure she can win from anywhere.
She would have won from anywhere. So that would have been again a good thing. But I mean, they have their own dynamics. The party decides, and I think the Gandhis are not very hungry for power. So in that sense, I think that comes across that they're not hungry for power personally, and their idea is to be in the house and to oppose what the BJP is doing. And I think that is. In that sense, I think it's, her representation or her representatives hopefully will do a good job.
Okay, the next step is the Lok Sabha, the party elections. Do you see Rahul Gandhi? Do you think it's finally time that he takes over? We can only second guess what his plans are.
My personal opinion is this, that it is time that Mr. Gandhi either becomes party president or becomes the leader of the party in the Lok Sabha. You have to do that because, I mean, you must project to the people what you're bringing to the table. See, one of the reasons why the Congress is not winning is, okay, you're criticizing Mr. Modi, we all do that. But then what is your solution? Yeah. Why should Priya vote for the Congress? Why should Sir vote for the Congress? Why should or Mr. Lambia vote for the Congress? So ultimately, yes, Mr. Modi is bad or the BJP is bad. They've they've contracted the economy, it's contracting. But what will you do to get the GDP up? What will you do to create jobs? How will you create? See, you also have to give solutions. Merely saying somebody is a thief or somebody has destroyed the country, that's one part of it. What is the second part? So I think we are in a stage in our democracy where we need to start having a conversation as to what we will bring to the table. Now, whatever people may talk about the demise of the Congress, even in 2024, there are 160 seats, actually 190, because in states like Kerala, from where Mr. Nambiar comes, the BJP is not existent, Tamil Nadu is not existent, so the Congress will fight against the regional parties. Where the Congress is in a direct fight with the BJP or the regional party. Now, these 190 seats, if elections are held today, and I leave it to you all, how many are the Congress winning? This is at a time when the economy is contracting, joblessness is high, and people still haven't forgotten the losses in COVID 1 year ago. If the Congress is not winning a majority of those seats today, what happens in 2024 if the economy revives, if the past of the COVID is
Things will improve.
So you need to think about 2024 and you need to plan it now because it's round the corner. We're already in 2022 June.
Fair enough. My question to you, PK, is another one. Is, for instance, before Chintan Shivar, were told there may be a change of guard in Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot would come. Now is the time, because even Sachin is saying, agar karna hai, karo, otherwise you will lose another state. No harm in promoting him towards the end, like what happened with Channi. So the crucial, who is taking the decisions in the Congress?
That's a big, $1 million question, maybe even it can be $1 billion question, because there is no father for any decision in Congress. You have seen that in the, even in the Chintan Shivir, nobody know whether is it KC is taking decision. Somebody says no, he is not capable of doing it. Is it Rahul Gandhi? Everybody knows that he is not a full-time politician. Is Priyanka Gandhi is taking? She comes in the number 3 in the rank.
Hierarchy.
So hierarchy, is she taking? Nobody knows. So it's basically multiple fraction. As Pankaj ji was just talking about, the 3 seat went to the mother, 3 seat went to the daughter, 3 seats went to the son, and 1 seat may have gone to a congressman, the real congressman, and I don't know who's that real congressman.
We'll ask Pankaj that.
See, the problem is, it's not about, it's a golden opportunity. I always say as a student of politics that if you are, the right time for you to do and perform is when you are an opposition party. When you are in government, you have so much of limitations. You are bound to be answerable. When you are in an opposition, you are not answerable to anybody, but you have the power to question every day, every minute to the government which is there. But there are economic indicators. The government would have hundreds of their own reasons, which may be valid reasons, but even then, opposition can really get onto the street. But have you seen any major strike or any kind of major activation by the Congress in any places? Forget about the places where they are not very active. Maharashtra, could you see something? Kerala, forget about that. Kerala or Karnataka, any of these places, no. The only thing is that it is the devotion. The Congress leaders today in the 2nd and 3rd and the 4th rank has realized the only way for their success will be to have a devotion to a family. But I think you need to really realize that Prime Minister Modi 3 times have said, both in the parliament, yesterday in UP, he said, I am not against anybody, we need a strong opposition. Nitin Gadkari is telling, just imagine a BJP leaders are now telling that we need a strong opposition. But the Congress, being the principal opposition party, is not realizing that they need to be acting as a strong opposition. The problem is within the Congress is that Congressmen, I always say that Congress is a culture because it's been there for several decades. It's been a part of our, maybe even though I question that today's Congress is not that Congress of the freedom movement, but even then it's been a culture for several decades. There are so many congressmen in every village even today would like to go and vote for that particular party.
But where is the party?
Where is the party?
leadership?
The party is gone.
Just one line. This thing you said about Modi ji, even yesterday he said that he needs a strong opposition. वो हिंदी में एक मुहावरा है, हाथी के दांत दिखाने और खाने के. वो लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन दे दी लोकसभा में, तो कोई लॉ तो नहीं है कि नहीं दे सकते. तो मोदी जी
आप सीट तो लेके आ जाओ ना, आप सीट भी तो लेके आ जाओ, तहसील लेके आ जाओ.
It's a precedent.
No. Why don't you get 50 seats?
Parliament is governed by rules.
No.
And the rule is, please.
No. The fact is,
There is a history behind
As per
it,
the
please.
rule is you can't.
Okay, let's say Shubho.
For the first time, leader of opposition was the only time for the first time leader of opposition was introduced in the Lok Sabha was after 1999 split, when the Congress O At first they had 48 seats and then they went up to 54. In those days, House used to be of 520. Moment they went up to 52. They were Ram Subhak Singh, when the Congress had just 48, was not recognized as the leader of the opposition. LOP was LOP is a rule, 10% rule, and that's the Westminster rule which we follow. So if a party, one moment please, and any party which doesn't have 10% of the seats is not recognized as a party in the parliament. It is recognized as a group. So all other, like Trinamool Congress is a group, Shiv Sena is a group. They are all groups.
May I just one second.
I think Tehseen is talking about giving an opportunity.
Your opportunity. Number one.
Parliament does not work on opportunities. Parliament works on rules.
No, I think Tehseen is saying is more from the point of view of giving it as a...
Rajiv Gandhi gave.
What?
He LOP.
To whom?
To the opposition.
They had the numbers.
And they didn't have the numbers. They had 400 MP. They are less than 10%. Which party was 50 plus? Nobody was 50
There
plus.
was no LOP.
There was no LOP.
And secondly,
Arvind
Kejriwal gave now in the Delhi Assembly. Arvind Kejriwal. And how many rules has this government followed? Rules also say that you should go to the parliamentary committee.
It's not government again.
Let's get back the topic to the Congress.
It is the prerogative of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha or the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, guided by the rules of the House.
Okay.
And the rules of the House allow votes to be passed on a voice vote without a division of vote.
Pankaj, the road ahead for the Congress, should Rahul finally take over? Should he just outsource it to somebody else?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it is for the Congress to decide. The Chintan Shivar was not a very successful thing. While the Chintan Shivar was on, people were leaving and they have left. You know, Sunil Jakar has left, Kapil Sibal has left, Hardik Patel has left. You know, so many others are planning to leave. And, you know, Congress is not in a very happy state. And there are a lot of things to worry about. And the way it is being run is also something which is, you know, not going down too well with the people, because people who are running it have no sense of micromanagement of elections. They don't know how to win elections. They don't know how to, you know, manage things. And they are just out there and, you know, just because of their proximity to the family or to Rahul Gandhi, they are benefiting. I mean, the party was never run like this. I mean, Chintan Shivar should have, you know, revived the idea of the Congress Parliamentary Board. It should have revived the idea of an elected working committee. You have people, you know, who are not even, you know, who are doing well, are not even being, you know, patted on the back. The Youth Congress President Srinivas, for instance, held a very massive, meeting on Rajiv Gandhi's martyrdom day. And that day, Rahul Gandhi, instead of being on Shakti Sthal and Veer Bhumi, was, you know, sitting in Cambridge. So, you know, what kind of a message are you sending? You know, the party everywhere, I mean, Delhi, you know, has been also, in a way, has been described as mini India. Whenever Congress gets destroyed in Delhi, it doesn't do well in other parts of the country also. So nothing is being done here. And then if you go by the internal surveys which have been conducted in Gujarat and in Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, the internal survey says that Congress will have its the lowest numbers ever. In Himachal, it may not be able to retain or wrest power from the BJP. So it is being said that Sonia ji is thinking that, you know, after these two elections are over, Karnataka is one place where Congress, because of Siddaramaiah, again, is expected to do well. So he should be appointed president just before Karnataka. But in Karnataka now, DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah are facing each other. They have been holding separate meetings. So that's another big problem which is taking place. So Congress has to, you know, have a clear vision. And I personally think that for the time being, the Gandhis, you know, are not able to attract votes for the party. So they should, you know, allow someone as an interim arrangement for 2 years or 3 years to take over as the president, who's not a part of the family, who's a seasoned politician, whether it is Ashok Gehlot, whether it is Kamal Nath, whether it is Bhupinder Hooda or whoever they deem fit. But someone who, you know, brings something to the table and not someone who takes everything away and, you know, attracts hostility of the cadres.
But who is that someone?
Can I just quickly see, in the world of marketing and branding, which I belongs to, there is something we say that if everybody is attacking you on a daily basis, that's a great opportunity for a leader to emerge. The finest example for that is that Narendra Modi. everybody before 2014 was attacking him,
Got it.
Maut ka Saudagar and everything, but he emerged. Here is an opportunity for Rahul Gandhi, if at all, if he has got some kind of a leadership quality. Everybody calling him every name. Even now we are discussing and telling him, discussing about his, not the quality, but the other stuff. So I think it's an opportunity for Rahul Gandhi, if at all, if he has got some leadership quality, to emerge as a strong leader, not waiting for any more the president.
In fact, now the ED summons would be a good opportunity. He can go there, he can, show that how,
he can't show much.
And it's such a
National Herald is a case in which their, I'm a former editor of National Herald, appointed by Rajiv Gandhi, and I quit after he died because I could see what they were doing to National Herald, and what I had anticipated has happened.
I see.
So in that, I'm sorry, he's on thin ice.
In fact, I think the ED case is such a weak and bogus case, and I respectfully second time disagree with you that this case should be thrown in the tissue paper. I actually
are you the lawyer for it?
And there's no case in it. There's just as a rubbish bogus case.
Okay, let's
and
show.
by an ED director whose tenure has been extended despite a Supreme Court judgment saying
let him speak also. Let him speak.
Now, we are talking about Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi should take a leaf out of his uncle Sanjay Gandhi.
Good.
He was the man who revived the Congress party after the debacle of 77. Sanjay Gandhi, the badnaam tha. When he died, on the day he died, I was standing with Mr. Madhulimai in Western Court, and we saw the cottage pass by. Madhulimai commented, "Tha to lumpen, to dekho neta hoke mara." Exact his words were this. Now, what did Sanjay Gandhi do? Pankaj will recall, because Pankaj was also in the National Council of the Indian Congress in those days. Sanjay Gandhi, as he came in, he did not take any designation. He was just Sri Sanjay Gandhi. Even in the Guwahati Congress of 1976, when we went there, where Indira Gandhi said that you should not surrender, we were asked to, both Pankaj and I were there in the organizing committee. So we were making the lapels, President Youth Congress, General Secretary Youth Congress, Member National Council. So we asked Ambika Soni that, what do we do for Sanjay Gandhi? So what designation? So she said, let me ask him. He's a Member National Council. I said, Member National Council. So will he wear one of those badges? So she came back with a smile and said, he said, Sri Sanjay Gandhi. So we had a label with General Secretary, National Council, this and that. Sri Sanjay Gandhi. He knew that he is Sri Sanjay Gandhi. So unless Rahul Gandhi gets the feeling that I am Sri Rahul Gandhi and anybody else can be my Ambika Soni, it doesn't matter.
No, here I like to add. I'll just like to add quickly. Mr. Fatedar, Makhanlal Fatedar, who was Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi's political advisor, in his book, his last sentence is that Congress has reached a cul-de-sac because Rahul Gandhi cannot be Sanjay Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi cannot be Indira Gandhi.
On that note, I think we've got some very good anecdotes and advice and analysis. So thank you all. It's been a very super special panel, and I hope Shri Rahul Gandhi does have some takeaways from this conversation, as we all have had. Thank you so much.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.